Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Now our patient is, actually we did get the 2013 legacy for cloning, but I cannot clone this one. Sorry. This isn't 2 kilobyte EEPROM, this is 128 kilobyte EEPROM that is within the MCU. So either you have to use CAN to read it and program it, or you have to hook onto the MCU. I couldn't get any pinout of the MCU to just write the flash to read the flash, or the EEPROM to read it and write it. Usually there is some stuff available. You just hook up 4 wires and you can read the EEPROM directly and write it directly. Not in case of this one, so at the moment I'm not capable of cloning that, so sorry about that. I of course issue a full refund and it's gonna be back. It's gonna be on its way back to the customer. Too bad, but I did not expect this, you know. So other than that, I got a lot of great feedback on my last video diagnosing this CAN issues on this one. This is 2005 legacy. Now the resistor, 120 ohm resistor, is a terminating resistor. It is indeed required for the CAN to work. That's why we didn't have any signal once we disconnected the filter. And now this component is supposedly a common CAN filter, right? And this, that I couldn't find anything on it, IC801, is a CAN transceiver. This is it. Well, we don't know if this is the exact one, but based on the pinout, that was the recommendation from one of you guys. And indeed, we have ground and VCC on the internal pins, the inside pins, and the outer pins are RX and TX. Well, I thought it was CAN high and CAN low. For some reason, I thought the MCU actually uses CAN protocol to communicate and just uses the output stage just to create the voltages, but it actually uses the typical serial communication. So TX, RX, these are transmission and reception lines, and they, as you can see, there's no clock because it's a serial communication based on timing. Basically, it's much like when you connect the serial terminal to your Arduino project, and you have to configure the speed of the rail, the bit rate, and it's usually some around 9600 or 9200 bits per second, which means you don't need a clock, and it's just the timing, and that matters. And the same way over here. So it's on a fixed bit rate, and it converts this signal, input and output, into the CAN high, CAN low. In addition, we have standby pin, which is not connected here, and split pin, which let's see on the schematic, right? The split you can connect through the capacitor to the ground, and these are 60 ohm resistors giving you 120 ohms between CAN low and CAN high, right? But basically that's how you use it. So this is pretty much what we have, and so I can replace this this component, and we can see whether that's gonna help. But before we do, let's establish some rules regarding determining whether there are CAN issues. Now, we do know that we cannot communicate using the reader, right? So we know there is an issue. So that's how we confirmed that there is an issue. And then on the oscilloscope, we can see the slopes that technically shouldn't be there. Based on my experience, usually it's more like a square signal. There can be a little bit of deviation from that, but usually it's very close to square signal, not a choppy, weird signal. But that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the can, because can is a differential rail. So we've been measuring against the ground, and that's how the signal looks against the ground. But it's important to know that it doesn't matter where the potential is against the ground. What matters is where the potential is against the other side of the rail. So between can high and can low. And that will be easy to confirm. So we're going to ignore the ground, and we're just going to connect the oscilloscope across the can. And if that gives us square signal, because it should, then it doesn't matter whether the signal against the ground is whatever, not correct or whatever, right? Now for that, we probably should connect to a battery, just so we don't interfere. So let's make the oscilloscope completely floating. It is technically insulated. I'm using the insulated power supply. Or am I? Oh no, looks like I was not. Okay. Although, no, that one, I think that one is also insulated. But we're going to connect it to the battery. So we're going to make it completely floating. So it's going to be an equivalent of a multimeter. Then we're just going to connect across a can, right? The direction in this case doesn't matter, but I'm using a ground for can low and the positive for can high. As I said, as long as we're on the battery, it really doesn't matter. And most likely, even if I connect it through the power supply, it probably wouldn't be an issue either. But I'm using a DC coupling, so it's better to use it on the battery. That way we're not interfering with can in any way. So now, let's get everything ready. Okay, and this does not look too good to me. Right, let's grab the picture, just so we can see it better. Let's run again. Now this looks okay. This looks fine. So why does it look so bad? And here, yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, so this looks good. So against the ground, it doesn't look good. It looks choppy and stuff. But the can looks good to me. This isn't... well, let's see against the ground. This is against the ground. So we need to lower it. Right. So let's see those. This, as long as the can low, because now we're on can high, so as long as can low fits exactly this shape over here, that's fine. because we only care about the potential between one line and the other line. The ground doesn't really matter here. And that's why the signal looks good on the differential measurement. So what is the issue here now? CAN looks good, but it doesn't connect. So let's consider this. Let's try this again, because maybe the act of heating and replacing the chip or something impacted the CAN, and now it'll work. Only one way to find out. Nope, still not connecting. And I see the CAN over here. This CAN is lighting up as well. It's like this ECM is speaking different language. The CAN, and even here, yeah, it looks okay. It looks fine, but the reader doesn't see it. I don't know, guys. What do you think? It looks to me like the CAN is working correctly. So such a weird case. Kind of like maybe because if the frequency is different, right, the bit rate is different, then yeah, it's not gonna work. Just like in Arduino, you set the bit rate to see the, so we can dump some stuff from the, echo some stuff into the terminal, or perhaps even read from the terminal. But if you set the different bit rate, the terminal has the different bit rate than your program, you're gonna see nonsense, right? It's gonna be just random bits. So, but how would that even be? Let's add a resistor, but that shouldn't really change anything. Does it change anything? Yeah. It changes the amplitude. The voltage peak to peak is 169 volts. I have no idea. No idea, but for some reason this ECM has been sold as a faulty one. So I can well believe that there is something else that I have never seen before wrong with it. But I was expecting different kind of fault. I was expecting one of those transistors to be faulty, because that's usually what happens on these, but never an issue like this. Because sure, if you can't see the CAN, we had this 2014 or 2017 Impreza that wouldn't communicate over CAN, but there was no CAN. The bootloader was corrupted and there was basically no data coming from the MCU. So yeah, but this one clearly shows that the CAN is at least there. At least something is happening. I don't have any means to actually diagnose what messages are coming on the CAN, at least not yet. But as long as the signal is there, I would expect it to work. What a surprise. All right, so this will, I don't know, I'll think about it still, but judging by what I see on the oscilloscope, I'm thinking there's something else not right. And I could actually maybe use a different reader. Yeah. If you guys have any ideas, definitely throw them in. We can maybe try something. But on the upside, we at least learned a lot about the CAN. That was the main purpose of even working on this board, because obviously it is not worth much even if it's working. Well, on the updates from my side, I had an interview today, and the hybrid position here in Atlanta, it went well. It was HR screening interview, so obviously just kind of like getting the process started. And I will have another one maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Probably not today. And we'll see, because I still haven't heard anything back from the previous company. They forwarded my resume, and I don't know what the results are just yet, whether they're even interested or not. And that one would suit me a lot more, I think, because first of all, it's remote. I guess I got a little lazy. I would prefer remote. Although I was thinking about, going to the office and just living the life again like normal human, driving to work every day and actually, being in the office 3 days a week. That's not too bad. But they are Java. That's a Java company. So I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to pass the technical interview, because it's been a while since I worked in Java. I'm not gonna interview well. The other company is PHP based, so that is like way up my alley. Or at least I'm confident enough in PHP that I don't fear any technical interview, no matter how intricate, or coding interview or anything like that. Although with Java coding interview, I probably wouldn't have too much issues with a coding interview, because some of it you can just do in pseudo language, and in the coding interview, the knowing the syntax and and the features of the language is a secondary goal. The primary goal is to see how you approach the problem and how effective you are, basically, right? But we'll see. This is so far my only two leads that I have at the moment. Everything else just But I did update my resume. I did add those things I wanted to add. It is so it is version 2.1 now, and I still haven't started writing my cover letter. I don't know. Lately, I just kind of feel defeated and tired, basically tired. And I should use this time to get some rest, but life's not gonna wait for you. There will be time to rest once I get a 9 to 5. I'll get some PTO. Once I get some PTO, I'll do some I'll get some vacation going. It's gonna be past season, if that. Hopefully it's not gonna be winter. But I would love to drive to Florida, Panama Beach, and just build sandcastles. But not anytime soon. Or, well, we'll see. But probably not for another. Even if I get a job today, it's gonna be 2 months before I build PTO again. So it's not gonna be anytime soon either way. But it's looking up. I mean, there are some prospects here and there, so we'll see. Hopefully, well, every day I'm getting a little bit closer, and I'm getting more and more messages on LinkedIn. So it's it looks like it might be picking up slightly right now. So fingers crossed, right? Anyways, a little bit of a failure day today, especially since I get a refund this, and when you refund, then you end up losing some money, because first of all you need to pay for shipping, and even though the customer gets the entire money that they paid for your listing, you still have to pay for the transaction and stuff like that. So effectively, if you have to refund the customer, you're still losing some money. Not a huge money, but it should go in the other direction. I should be making money, not losing money. But what are you gonna do? Life happens sometimes. Thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the comments and engagement. I appreciate that a lot. And I guess I'm gonna see you guys in the next one, probably tomorrow.